people off welfare and giving them jobs. Hillary Clinton wants to give them more dependence on government. Locking people into poverty, and that's what people like Hillary Clinton and Democrats have been doing for years and years and years and years. That's why Detroit and Chicago and Milwaukee and other cities are in the condition that they're in. Because they've had, in the case of Baltimore, 50 years of Democratic rule, and African Americans and Hispanic and poor people are locked. They're locked into a system of dependency. And here's what Donald Trump wants to give them. He wants to give them the ladder to success. He wants to put down the ladder to success. And you know what the ladder to success is? It's a safe community, a good education, and a good job. You think you're going to do that by raising taxes on the rich? Raise taxes on the rich, you make everybody rich. I'll tell you why. My wife has a good friend. She runs a Pilates studio. 2008, she voted for Barack Obama. A year later, she found out she was rich. She was earning about $200,000 with her and her husband, trying to put their kids through school, and then Obamacare came along, and it made her business for a long time profitless. She became one of the early members of the Tea Party. She found out about the lies. You know, you can keep your own doctor. Lie. You can keep your insurance policy. Lie. Now, I gotta tell you the truth. Despite what you think of President Obama, in terms of telling lies, he's an amateur compared to Hillary Clinton. I describe that as a professional liar. It is time. How long have we lived with Clinton scandals and corruption? How long? How much longer are we going to live with more scandals and more corruption? I wouldn't go into the scandals when he was in Arkansas, but everybody in Arkansas knows how corrupt he was and his government was. You had to pay the Rose Law Firm to get business from Arkansas. I used to put crooks like that in jail. You had to pay to stay in the Lincoln bedroom. Poor President Lincoln had to be rolling over in his grave, paying for my bedroom. That was run by, I think, I shouldn't say, but I think I know who ran it, but I'm sure Hillary had a lot to say about it. And every time a woman would come along and say that Bill Clinton did something to her, who was the biggest attacker of that woman? And she's a feminist? And then when she got into private life for a while, you know where her speaking fees were coming from? You know where her money for the Clinton Foundation were coming from? They were coming from countries in which they kill women, in which they stone women, in which women are not allowed to drive, in which women are considered to be property. And she wants to get up on the stage and lecture Donald Trump or me or you about women, and she's been the biggest attacker and taken the most money from countries that not only discriminate against women, but kill them. Okay, Hillary, you want a lecture? Want a lecture on that? Give all the money back. I don't think that's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. She's giving the money back. Because I think that's what the Clintons are all about. They've always been all about putting the money in their pockets. Let me give you 2 examples and how she disgraced the Department of State, the way her husband disgraced the Oval Office. She took the State Department and she turned it into a corrupt pay-for-play. She sold out her oath of office. And there is nothing more disgraceful in this country than to sell your oath of office. I'm going to give you 2 examples. I could give you 12. I'll give you 2. There's a bank, a Swiss bank known as UBS. UBS had a long-term dispute with the IRS over giving up the identities of Americans who the IRS believed were evading taxes, were hiding money in Switzerland. They wanted, if my memory serves me correctly, they wanted something like 50,000 identities. So UBS figured out the good old pay-for-play system that worked in Arkansas and worked when they were in the White House, and they made a $60,000 contribution to the Clinton Foundation. That was like a little taste for the crooked Clintons. 60,000 will get their interest. I don't know, they may take 10, I have no idea. I'm not saying they're sophisticated crooks. I mean, they started off in Arkansas probably for, 20 grand, 50 grand, 30 grand. 60 grand for the foundation is okay. Then UBS figures maybe a little more is needed. So they give $600,000 to the Clinton Foundation. Now we're starting to talk like money. Hillary makes a special trip to Geneva. She meets with the IRS and she says basically, go easy on UBS. The IRS employee who she tried to strong-arm said this was very unusual. He had never had a person reach out to him and do this in the State Department before, much less the Secretary of State of the United States. UBS now was real happy. They gave Bill a $1.5 million speaking fee for one speech. The highest he had ever received up until then was $300,000. $1.5 million speaking fee, and you're going to tell me it wasn't connected with her interceding with IRS to the UBS? If you can convince me of that, I'm not a New Yorker, and you can sell me the Brooklyn Bridge. And I'm not done yet. And then a $30 million loan to the Clinton Foundation, and I'm not done yet. The IRS only got 4,000 of the 54,000 identities they wanted. That is called conflict of interest. That's called bribery. That's called being crooked. That is called disgracefully selling one of the oldest and most distinguished offices in the United States, the first cabinet member. That's selling the office of Secretary of State. And you know Hillary Clinton did it. And you know the liberal press protects her against it because they protect her against anything and everything. Just watch the way Lester Holt conducted that interview. Neutral questions to Hillary, loaded questions to Donald Trump. I know a lot about loaded questions. I used to do it when I was a prosecutor. He asked Donald Trump questions as if he was prosecuting him. And then he followed up. Not only that, he followed up and he was wrong on stop and frisk. Totally wrong. Completely ignorant of Terry against the United States. Decided in 1968. Stop and frisk is constitutional. Donald Trump's description was totally correct. Hillary Clinton saying that the court found stop and frisk to be unconstitutional was wrong. And first of all, Lester Holt backed her up. Was he her campaign manager or a journalist? You want to know why we're upset about the unfairness of this election? Just go back and watch the way Holt questioned Donald Trump in comparison to the way you know what he asked her about the emails? Yeah. How about the emails? Yeah. Not. How about the fact, Mrs. Clinton, that you exposed more confidential to top secret information than anyone ever in the history of this country that we know of? That you know very well that the Chinese are hacking us, and the Russians are hacking us, and the Iranians are hacking us, and hackers are hacking us. And you exposed this information? And then you destroyed 40,000 emails? And then you destroyed emails after you got a subpoena to produce them? And then you didn't just destroy them, you went out and you got a bleach, an acid, that costs a lot of money, that only the most sophisticated criminals even know about. I happen to do cybersecurity investigations for a living. There are a lot of cyber crooks don't even know about this, but this one knew about bleach bit, and he used the bleach bit to get rid of what was ever on those servers. And then she had 13 cell phones. 13! Somehow, we can't find them. It isn't that she doesn't want us to see what's on them. It's just they disappeared. Well, a couple of them actually were hammered into little pieces. That's what criminals do. Not people who want to be president of the United States.
Lock her up! 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 Lock her up!
I'm not presently the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York, or the Attorney General of the United States.
Lock her up!
But I have to tell you, I cannot understand why she's not being prosecuted.
The Attorney General?
It has to be. We have a situation where the Clintons are too big to be prosecuted. Too important. I'm going to give you another one. When she was interviewed by the FBI asked her if, when she was reading the secret documents, did she notice that at the beginning of a lot of the paragraphs there was a parenthesis with a C.
Confidential.
And
She didn't know what that meant.
I think she probably said yes. And the agent asked her, did you know that that meant confidential? And she said, no, I thought it was alphabetical order. Now, the agent didn't go on, which will give you a sense of how rushed and how incompetent this investigation was. Because if this were one of my assistant U.S. attorneys or FBI agents, he'd have been fired if he didn't ask the next question. Only an idiot can't figure out the next question. Did you see an A?
Or a
B? How about an X? How come you only saw C's, Hillary? And you know you were given training. I know you don't remember that you were, but I know because I had top security clearance. You get anywhere from a 2 to 4 hour course from the CIA as to what all this means. But she doesn't seem to remember that. Kind of dangerous if we have a president who can't remember her top security briefing. Kind of dangerous if we have a president that doesn't know that C means confidential. Because if she doesn't know C, or she says she doesn't know that C is confidential, there are only one or two conclusions you can possibly come to. She is too stupid to be president. I don't mean to insult her because she really isn't stupid, even though she's failed the bar exam the first time. But she really isn't stupid. She's a very intelligent woman. When she said that she didn't know that C meant confidential, what was she doing?
Lying!
That is a violation of 18 United States Code, Section 1001, which makes it a crime to lie to the FBI. A person you know, named Martha Stewart, went to jail for one lie like that.
One line.
She wasn't too big to prosecute. That statement about the C is a damn lie. It is a disgrace that she is not being held to the same standard that you'd be held to or I would be held to. Let's not have her get her hands on the White House, because she will sell the Oval Office the way she stole the State Department, the way they stole the Lincoln bedroom. Isn't it time to end the Clinton scandals? Isn't it time to end the corruption? Isn't it time to put a man in the White House who's his own man? Nobody else. For you. I will tell you one thing about this whole Putin business. If Putin thinks this is a guy you can push around, I I know Donald Trump for 28 years, and if I had to have somebody negotiate for me, I'd take Donald Trump. He is tough. He is strong. He will face Putin with a military that it will be the biggest military in the world, because he's going to build it and she's going to reduce it. And when he stands up to Putin, Putin will know that he is standing up to a leader, to a person who will be able to match him on every point, in every way, and is not going to draw a line in the sand 12 times and back off the way our current president has done to the disgrace of the United States. We have one choice, one chance to put America in the right direction, one chance to make America great again, and that's Donald J. Trump.